what features and what functions people really, really want in terms of those banking services.
Where we are in the digital transformation journey.
How banks are leveraging data to meet rising customer expectations.
How do we best partner in a way that respects and leverages the very best of what each part of the overall ecosystem can bring?
How are banks responding to the constant regulatory pressure whilst in conjunction trying to digitally transform their business?
How are banks going to be working closer with fintechs to better serve customers?
How is technology going to accelerate even more delightful customer experiences in banking and financial services?
What data tooling would help that targeted customer experience? And how can trusted vendors and partners like ourselves help in that banking transformation journey?
What a typical bank will look like in 10 years' time, given all the innovation, all of the change, all of the disruption we see happening in the world.
What is the cost of not transforming?
What smaller agile fintech players are doing in the market that's new, that accelerates time to value and revenue, and how technology really underpins that.
Should we stop using the term digital? Isn't it now BAU, and is it not intrinsic to how banks should now be working? And if not, why?
Has technology gone too far? And do we need to rebalance towards a more blended human digital experience?
How do banks learn to innovate and operate like fintechs while leveraging their core strengths of trust, safety, security, and stability as part of their overall digital transformation strategy?
How many people working in the retail banking franchises expect to have a retail banking franchise in 2030?
What are people seeing in terms of enabling these fintech collaborations with banks from a compliance and regulatory perspective?
What are different peers doing in this space, and what are things that we haven't thought about, and how I could leverage some of the great ideas coming out of the summit?
What's going to happen with the rising interest rate environment, the tech stock sell-off we're seeing right now, and I guess this massive wave of investments come into fintech? Sort of what happens on the back of those three factors all colliding this year?
How we as an industry can take the pace of transformation that has occurred over the last 2-3 years of the pandemic and accelerate it even further going into the future.
The one question I'd love to see answered at the Banking Transformation Summit is, how will banking leaders use apprenticeships to advance diversity within their teams and also ensure they've got the necessary skills to drive digital transformation and make the most actually of the investments they're making in tech and data?